Hello guys, Mark McBride here, and today we're going to be playing Malzahar in a ranked game, and we'll be going mid lane of course. We are running 2190 Masteries, and we're running movement speed Quints, magic pen reds, armor yellows, and magic resist per level blues. And from the looks of things, we're going to be going up against a Nidalee, and then they've got Aurelia top, Xin jungle, Vayne and Leona bot, and I'd say all in all, they've got a crazy amount of gap closers. So I'm going to be building pretty defensively while still maintaining a good amount of damage. Malzahar's scalings and base damages are obscenely high in my opinion, especially when coupled with his W, which does a percentage of their maximum health per second. So we're going to be able to maintain a lot of damage while still getting incredibly tanky. Although it is important to note that your R does lock you down as well as them, being a suppression, so you're both locked in place. So if your positioning's off, you will die. So that's going to be important to note. Skill order is going to be E, Q, W, taking a point in R whenever we can. And we're just going to go ahead and start farming. Whoops, so I'm going to miss the first CS. But as a lot of you guys know already, farming is not exactly my strong point. But I don't know, more often than not I tend to make up later in the game. Which should be especially true for Malzahar, as once you get a few points in E, it just auto clears entire waves with little to no effort. So I do have that going for me at least. So we'll take a point in Q, and that's where a lot of Malzahar's power as an anti-mage comes from. Is a decent AoE silence coupled with your W, your E, your R and Ignite. More often than not will secure a kill, and later on in the game when you do have crazy amounts of damage, more often than not you can just E, Ignite, R and people will go down, especially the squishier targets. So we're just going to dodge that spear, and we'll get RE ticking along the creeps. There we go. Another thing to note is that when your E, or Malefic Visions as it is called, jumps from target to target, you do get mana back. So in terms of sustain, it's pretty useful. There we go, decent amount of damage off there on Nidalee. Cool, so we'll take a point in W, and we'll just head on up, get a potion ticking. Ryze is in tier, so we're just going to wait, and we're going to flash. Cool, so I'm going to drop my silence there. Cool, so that went pretty well actually. If I hadn't hit that silence, she would have pounced and killed me. So played that pretty well if I do say so myself. So that gives me first blood. And we'll get the first couple of pieces towards our catalyst. And a couple of potions. Cool, and we'll just head on back to lane. Cool, so good job moving. Cool, so there's Nidalee's flash, so a good, nice gank there from Armour. And we'll just start pushing our E through the wave so we can regain our mana. And that's level 5 for us. And our kill potential does go up quite dramatically once we hit 6. Cool, so I got quite lucky there. If he had used Audacious Charge on me, I probably would have gone down. As with Malzahar, your mobility is really very low. You don't have any inbuilt escape mechanisms, so it's always good to be slightly wary. Just get a couple of potions ticking. And there we go, so Malefic Visions are starting to do a decent amount of damage, but more often than not I'm going to be using it to farm. Right then, so I've just noticed she's wandered off, so she's gone for blue and she's made it pretty obvious. So I'm going to wait here, and if I spot her when she walks back to lane, I'm going to kill her and take her blue, essentially. So we'll just be patient, and when we see her we'll drop our silence just ahead of her, and our ultimate, and there we go. That's a free blue for us, as well as another kill. When you do go for blue buffs and whatnot, especially on that side of the map where the distance to travel to actually get to that brush is a lot lower, quite important not to telegraph that you're about to go, especially if you're low. So she made a mistake there and I punished her for it. So this game's going pretty well so far. We are behind actually currently in terms of overall team score. So here's Zin again, so I'm going to need to be careful. Right, no, that's a shame. So I'm just going to duck out there. A little bit of a shame that our Void Link kind of was wandering around a bit. And him using E to avoid my silence, pretty good actually. I'd have killed him otherwise. So a little bit unlucky on my part. Then we'll just get this pushing. And on bigger waves, you will have time for a second Malefic Visions to come up. So you can just cast it on another creep and it will basically double clear the wave for you. I don't think this is the smartest idea in the world, what those guys are doing bot, but each to their own. So I'm going to go ahead and get a Haunting Guise and a Catalyst and a Potion and head back to lane. Have a look at what's going on down here. Right, so you can see a teleporter coming in here. So Aurelia's going to get an easy double kill here. Maybe even a triple. So Jinx flashed there and didn't get the kill. So these guys need to kind of chill out a bit. As yeah, that's put us quite significantly behind now.
An enemy has been slain. Without question.
Can tell already this Braum could be a bit of a pain in terms of attitude. It's always fairly obvious from how people are going to be in game. And there we go, so that's going to jump to her. So I'm going to drop a ward here. So I'm just going to keep on farming, playing safe, just taking kills where I can. That looked like it should have hit me, in my opinion, but I'm not going to complain. So good job, guys.
An enemy has been slain.
So I'm going to try and bait her into jumping me here. No, she didn't take it. And we can still see Zin hanging around. So, alright, I'm going to head down here. Yeah, I thought it was fairly obvious they were going to go on her. So I'm going to head down, see if I can pick up a kill. I'm not going to telegraph where I am immediately, I'm going to just stay back ever so slightly. As 2v1 they will kill me. So I'm going to be able to pick up this kill on Leona. And there we go, just utilise the Braum passive there, so that puts me at 3-0-0. I'm just going to head back to mid. Vayne was away there, so just took what I could. Moonby's not necessarily wrong, Garen is pretty squishy for now. But hopefully that cleaver will be about as far as he takes it in terms of damage, at least until he's got a little bit more survivability under his belt. So there we go, and as you can see, I'm using my E to push the wave up. And as it auto clears, I just walk back into my half of the map. There's no need for me to be hanging around in their half. And then playing that way limits your exposure to ganks. So we're going to head down here. Right, so I've seen Leona, so I'm just going to back away. I can't see Nidalee. We know Zin's around, so if we carry on down that way, we could get caught out. So once again, I'm just going to head back here, keep farming. So good job, Garen. He actually appears to be pulling ahead of Aurelia now, which is good for us. Cool, so there's flash from Nidalee. I'll take that. And we'll just drop a ward there. Could push up and take that mid tower, but again, I don't want to put myself too far out there because I don't want to die. Oops, I'm just going to flash out there. And then just wait for my Malefic Visions to come back up. Cool, so there we go. That worked out pretty well for us. Definitely worth bursting flash for. And then we can get this mid tower. Garen on a killing spree, so great job there. And then we'll head over this way, see if we can pick up Leona. Oh, so I'm just going to ult her as soon as I get a chance. There we go. So there's the shutdown. Oh, and I got the double. I did die, but not too shabby all in all. So we've got enough now to pick up our Liandrys and our Rod of Ages. So we'll go ahead and pick that up and that. And get some boots. And yeah, so we're getting quite strong now. We are moderately fed. Pick up a couple of potions as well, and we'll head back to lane. And we got Dragon, so great work, guys. I'm going to get blue if he says yes, which he has, so happy days. Liandry's is such a good item on Malz, as it does do percentage damage, so it stacks really nicely with E as it refreshes. Just avoid Leona there, and your W as well, so you can get off some absolutely massive damage. So if Leona engages here, which I'm sure she did. Okay, Aurelia's here, so I'm probably going to die here. Just get off as much damage as I can. Jinx flashing to attack a minion. Quite funny. To be fair, an SS there would have saved us. But again, not a huge deal. It's not great by any means, and Garen didn't get a tower, so we lost far more than we gained. But it is what it is. And as you can see, Braum continuing to hound him, which is pointless. So I'm going to tell him not to. So I'll just take another point in my queue there. Cool, so great work. Those two top. We'll just get this pushing, and then we'll back away.
Rampage.
Nice of Jinx to show up and steal the siege. So Braum's massively caught out here. If I go near Leona, I'll get stunned and I will probably die. So I'll just back away. Looks like Amumi's going to get caught out as well. Cool, so I'm going to flash out of there. They don't need another free kill. Right, so those guys are all heading top to try and catch Aurelia. However, we can't see their team, so they're all probably going to die. Yep. So again, not a very smart play. Fighting in there half the map with no vision, never going to end well. Right, so that's good enough. We got our flash, so I'm going to back away. Braum still being far too aggro. Then we'll be able to pick up blue. So we got Leona here, just need to be a little bit careful. And there we go, we're going to get that just. In my opinion, huge mistake on her part trying to snipe it with her ult. Obviously it's no big deal right now, but if a fight breaks out and she doesn't have her ult, she's going to be significantly weaker than she would have been otherwise. Looks like these two are going to die, having gone alone. So that's not too good. Nidlee's on a killing spree somehow, so that would have been better avoided. See if we can pick this up. So we are going to need to be careful here. See, if she had her ultimate, she could have ulted me there, and I'd have been dead. But as I mentioned before, she wasted it, sniping on blue. Alright, so Aurelia's here, I'm going to back away. Not entirely sure why those guys went in there. Like, if I could have picked her off over the wall, fine. But if I'd failed, she would have just walked away and we wouldn't have lost anything for it. But my bad, I guess. I don't know. Not ideal, but we do need to stay as a 5. Otherwise, we will lose. Like, we are falling pretty far behind now, so I'm going to go ahead and start building towards my Rylais. As you can see, Braum behaving pretty childishly again. He just needs to relax. So I'm just going to flash out of there. There's the ultimate. There's one. So I'm not going to be able to catch up to Nidalee there. So we can just pick up Leona, hopefully. So there we go. Now we just need to walk away this way, and we're set. Then we got Jinx complaining. Like, to be fair, not an issue. We were never going to catch Nidalee, or at least I wasn't. So there's no need to chase her all the way to their base tower. Leona was essentially a free kill. And as you can see, those two have got sucky attitudes, which is typical because they are doing the worst on the team. But that's often pretty typical of a league player at the best of times. If you see what I mean. Got a Jinx with a pretty crap score. Yeah, 3 for 6 Jinx, saying she won't play on my team, as I don't know the basics. Terrible attitudes. But I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. So I'll pick up this guy. Right, so if Nidalee jumps on him, oh, so he's actually kind of far away from me. Hopefully we can catch her. So there we go, there's another flash from Nid, so that's fine. Probably not going to catch up here. Oh no. Should be able to catch Leona actually. She always does that, she always jumps to me. So there we go, there's another killing spree. Zin's going to jump on us, so I'm just going to get wrecked apparently. So I'm gonna go ahead and start building towards my Void Staff next. Before they've never chance to build any AP. And as you can see, I've got really nice damage output without having to build any of the big AP items. Not saying you don't have to, I normally would, but I do want to try something slightly different. Malzahar is incredibly effective against tanks and squishies, all the same. So a really solid pick. So let's see if we can get around here and help these guys out. Brom again, getting hugely caught out. So I'm going to be able to get into the brush here. So there's one. There's another, and another. So pretty successful team fight all in all. As you can see, most of us didn't actually take any damage. And we were able just to scatter around the outside, throwing damage out. So that was ideal. Again, fighting in the jungle like that's rarely a good idea, especially if people have enough range to get to you over walls. As melee champions, as most of them are, you're not going to get near them. So we'll get this tower for free. So now tower's down. There we go. Then we're going to head down this way and pick up another dragon as we need it. I think they've got a few so far, potentially. So we'll get this while we can. There we go. Then get a blue here. Nice and helpful. Maybe not. Mummy's going to smite it. Then we got enough to finish our void stuff. So there we go. I think choosing to go down the survivability route has been quite wise. I have died very few times, and to be fair, a couple of those were entirely my fault. They could have been avoided. So we'll just drop a Malefic Visions there on Aurelia. As you can see, doing pretty good damage, considering how tanky she is. Oh, so I'm going to need to burst Flash as soon as I get a chance. Then I'm going to ult her, she's away from her team, so she's going to die. There's a couple there. And there we go. So, Garen on a rampage, great job Garen. Then we should be able to pick up Baron here. There we go. And I'll grab blue real quick, and then I'll head back. And for my last item, I'm probably going to get a Will of the Ancients. Again, not something you're always going to see on Malzahar, but it's quite fun just to drop your E on someone, and then watch your health gradually fill up. And especially when you ult them, and your health bar just rapidly refills. Pretty funny. Sadly, Vayne didn't run this way, otherwise that would have been a kill for me. But no worries, they're going to pick her up anyway. And as you can see, between my 3 skills, not including my ultimate, I got Aurelia down to half health immediately. So as you can see, the strength of Malzahar is definitely up there. Let's drop my Malefic Visions in there, and my ult. And there we go, so there's one. And as you can see, you can just stay pretty far outside the action and still get quite a lot done. So they're going to have to back away. There's a tower, we'll get the inhib as well, no problem. And there we go. And there we go, so there's another kill for us. I'm just going to head back real quick. Those guys can pick up Dragon, no problem. Finish my Will of the Ancients. I'm also going to get an Elixir of Sorcery and Alacrity Boots. And there we go, we are all but fully built. If you ignore the fact our trinket's not upgraded, but no big deal. So we should be able to push this out and finish it now. So as you can see, my W is doing 30% of their max health per second. My ultimate's doing over 1,000. My Q, not far off that, or my E. So pretty absurd amounts of damage considering I don't have any of the big AP items. So if we just keep these lanes pushing. So I just flashed the wall, got my E off and the slow of the Rylais. Pretty much take care of the rest, so doing quite well here. Just going to look for a target to drop some spells on so I can regen some health. So as you can see, healing nicely there from the Will of the Ancients. And as you can see, my Q does about half of Vayne's HP. And this will be game, I'd imagine. So yeah, happy days. I've been Mark McBride, hopefully you found this entertaining, maybe even somewhat informative. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.